Aqib, did Green Bay look like the best team in the NFC?
Oh, I love how they looked last night. And I know week 2, I said they did look like the best, but 7 games in, what are we, 7 weeks into it?
8.
I can't put them as the best team. I mean, they up there. So I say it's 5 teams in the NFC who all of them had their moments so far, right? I say the Bucs had their moment. They look like the best. You see them play the Niners. They look like they was the best in the league. The Lions play the Bucs. They look like they was the best in the league that week. The Eagles, just versus the Giants, shit, they back, got the ball, toting on the ball, run Saquon, pop out. They look like they was the best, you know what I'm saying? The Rams in London, they dominated a good football team. They look like they the best in the NFC. And then last night, the Packers, they just absolutely dominate the Steelers. They look like they the best. So every team has had their moments that they look like they the best, but I just can't put the Packers over everybody. I asked these 3 questions. Can you run the ball? I think all of them, Philly was struggling a little bit. They got to running the ball. Everybody else can run the ball. Can you throw the ball? Everybody can throw the ball. We've seen every team who I just named, all 5 of them, throw the ball. The main one to me is, can you win a game when you have 2 on defense? And I feel like all 5 of them showed they can win a game. Eagles beat the Chiefs, gave them 17. The Bucs beat the Niners, gave them a 3-point half. The Lions had no starting secondary, dominated a great offense, the Bucs. The Rams, they got stops when they needed to versus the Colts, gave the Colts 20 points. That's a 35-point-a-game team right there. And then the Packers, week 1, they dominated the Lions. So they all showed that they could win a game on defense. So, man, it's an extremely close race in the NFC. And I think it's going to make for a great playoff run.
Yeah. You want to go?
You know what's amazing about Green Bay? They're homegrown, right? They're young. Brian Gutekunst has drafted extremely well. They do great. They've got 5 players from other teams in their starting lineup. You know who the 5 guys are? Aaron Banks is a hell of a guard. Yep. Josh Jacobs, a hell of a back. Xavier McKinney, who's a hell of a safety.
He is.
We know Micah Parsons, right? And they got the Knicks in the corner. Those are 5 impactful players. If you're going to go out and pick guys from free agency, let these guys have an impact. And the rest of the guys are all been drafted by the Packers. Amazing, young, talented team. They do have enough talent to win it all because they have a closer as a pass rusher if they have a lead, and they can close it out with the running game with Josh Jacobs with the run. And if obviously Jordan Love is the key. His consistency has been in question throughout his career. If he plays like he played against Pittsburgh, then yes, Green Bay can be the best. But you're right. There are 5 or 6 other teams. You forgot about Seattle. I think Seattle has a good team.
To me, Seattle and the Niners, they good. They 6 and 7. But I don't know. I can't just pick out one game where Seattle looked like they the best in the NFC. The game where they lit it up on the scoreboard, shit, they gave Baker 40. They scored 40, they gave Baker 40. I just couldn't find one game to put them in my notes. You know what I'm saying, Coach?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, do they look like the best team in the NFC? I'm going to go yes for right now. They're sitting there in that number 1 seed. They got the best record, even though they got a tie against your Cowboys. 5-1-1. And this team is young. This team is hungry. They have speed all over the field. That pass rush is getting cranked up. Micah's got 6.5 sacks. He's opening up things for Rashawn Gary, 7.5 sacks. 144 total pressures. That's in the elite category, like the Denver defense. I mean, if you can affect the quarterback like that, you're going to set yourselves up for success. They got a great run game with Josh Jacobs. They couldn't get it going last night. Jordan Love took over. And that second half, I mean, they were rolling against the highest paid defense in the NFL. So I think they're in the driver's seat for the NFC right now. And the one thing I could say is they need more turnovers on defense. They only have 2 takeaways right now. If they crank those numbers up with that elite offense, they'll be in a good position.
So I'm sorry, but I can't get real fired up about what Green Bay did last night to, as you pointed out, the defense that has given up the 30th most yards in the National Football League. The Pittsburgh defense is just a memory to me, and it hurts my eyes to watch a Mike Tomlin defense just get shredded the way it's been getting shredded game after game after game. And Aaron played pretty well last night, but if you look at the body of work for the year, he's 213 yards passing a game. That's on pace for a career low. And in QBR, he's now 19th in the league with a 52. So he's just right kind of in the middle, bit below in ranking. So how can I jump up and down and say, oh, look what Green Bay did last night. They did what they should have done to that team in that moment. And I was happy for Jordan Love because that was a big deal for him last night. There's a lot of pressure on Jordan Love last night. I don't care what you say because you're going up against the Green Bay God. And the last thing you want to do is stink against Aaron and let him have one night of nights to plant or replant doubt in Packer Nation that, oh man, should we have done this or not? Because so far in the postseason, Jordan hasn't been great. He was great against my Cowboys when they're up 27-0 before halftime in a playoff game. But then, look, these were tough roads, man. He had to go to San Francisco, and they're on the way to the Super Bowl, and he stunk in that game.
I appreciate that.
Right? Well, true. And then he had to go to Philadelphia last year, and they're on the way to winning the Super Bowl, and he wasn't very good in that game. So he's 5 touchdowns to 5 picks in the postseason. So this team's going to go as far as he goes, and he's off to a really good start through, what are they, 6, 7 games, 5-1-1. Great start. But to Coach's point, every time I look up, I see another kid where I say, wow, because Tucker Kraft is turning into a flat-out star.
Yeah, he turned out star.
Right?
Awesome.
I mean, just a star. And he's a third-round pick out of South Dakota State. You want to talk about an athlete? You want to talk about a dominator? I mean, he's got Gronk going on. And they interviewed him on the field after the game, and he's so much bigger than Micah is. He's a huge kid.
Yeah. He can move, too.
And he can move. When he's running, I'm
He's
like,
fast as shit.
he's huge.
Yeah, no, he's just huge, and he's just taking games over. And you can just see his confidence growing by the snap. And then I look up, and you're talking about they couldn't get the running game going. And I don't even know who this kid is, Emmanuel Wilson. He was undrafted out of Fort Valley State. But every time he touched the ball last night, good stuff. He went 11 for 61 on his carries, and then he caught 3 more balls for 26 yards. And I said, well, now they got a little thunder lightning going with him and Josh Jacobs, who's really good, and he'll be better as the season wears on. And then I've always liked Christian Watson because he's just a stud. He's he's 6'4", 225, and can just fly. And he was back last night and catching big balls. And then, obviously, Micah joined a top 5 defense. Well, what do you think's going to happen if you put Micah Parsons in a top 5 defense with the Rashawn Gary and all the rest of them, Edgerrin Cooper? And they're just really good. And as you pointed out, Xavier McKinney, they're just, and every time I look up, that Carrington Valentine, I don't know if he's catching your eye, but he just keeps making plays. And I say, who the hell is he? You know, he's a 7th-round pick. And last night he made 2 or 3 plays where I said, oh, I like that. I just like his spunk and his spark and his spirit. You know, like he's given that defense some juice that I wasn't sure that it had. So, like Micah last night. So he makes 2 plays in the whole game. He had 1 good pressure that forced a sack. And then he had it was a big-time sack. And so his stats across the board are he got 1 tackle, which was a sack, and 1 hit on the quarterback, which was a sack.
Right.
So he just won across. And that's really all you need from him. If you can do those 2.
Because he takes 2 people on defense.
He
2
does.
guys block him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but guess who else takes 2 or 3 people every snap is Myles Garrett. He had 5 sacks at New England yesterday. 5 sacks? Micah doesn't do that. He's not that. That's why Myles Garrett is so much better than Micah Parsons. It's laughable to me. Hey, Myles, are you kidding? You can't block him. You can't keep him from finishing the deal on the quarterback. Myles freaking Garrett.
He wasn't doubled on all 5 of those sacks.
Hey, I'll bet he was. And again, I didn't watch it closely. I'll go back and check it out.
You're going to see it. He wasn't.
Hey, but who wouldn't double Myles Garrett when the rest of their line is just, who are they?
Just like the Cardinals did with Micah last week. They didn't double him. He came out with 3 sacks.
Exactly.
Watch when you watch it. You're going to say 3 of the sacks, he by himself working the shit out the tackle. So it's mind-boggling to me too, Skip.
But 5 sacks is pretty
5 sacks is a lot. You got to double.
I know. You got to double him.
You don't double him, he's going to make you pay.
I will say this, watching the Steelers play offense, I felt like, thus Gruden's always says, you don't feel pressure, you apply pressure. And I felt like Aaron Rodgers felt pressure all night long.
Yeah.
And they weren't rushing a lot of guys. They're only rushing 4 guys.
That's it.
They had 3rd and 8, the second 3rd and 8 of the game. He throws a stick flat combination. He audible to it. Got 5 yards, and 4th and 3, they punted. It's like, I don't know if he wanted to wait for routes to develop, try to get the first down because he knew.
Okay, you know, this happens when you're 41 years old.
That happens when you're 41. It also happens when you're looking at Myles Garrett in a 3-point stance and let me get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I just felt like throughout the course of the game, Aaron didn't let plays develop and give his opportunity. Of course, I'm not a big fan of the Steelers' weapons right now. Like DK's one of the most overrated guys I've seen. And
Really?
Calvin,
Wow.
Calvin,
Wow.
Just watch him play.
Yeah.
He doesn't play with the juice and the fire on every snap.
Okay.
When he does, he's unbelievable, right? I just feel like he should be the most dominant player.
He should.
Receiver football. He never
Agreed.
is. And I can see Aaron's frustration with him on the go ball on 3rd and 8 that he threw the go
Well,
ball. and the guy
and Aaron let everybody
knocked it out of
know
there.
about it.
In the run
It's
game,
always
he leaves a little bit less to desire. But Calvin Austin came back. I don't feel like they have a big running back. I like Jalen Warren last year
not
they had
bad.
Najee Harris and him splitting time.
Yeah, I
Now
got
it's Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. They're both little guys. You know what I mean? They don't have the big physical running game that they used to have in Pittsburgh.
But they
and their
running it, though.
defense isn't that physical up front anymore either. So Pittsburgh is a shell of themselves. Steel curtain's gone. They got no strength and power between the tackles on offense, and they really have no receiver weapons for Aaron to go get the ball and make some plays for him, other than DK.
I see the Steelers a little different than Coach. You know what I'm saying? I see a team who they take the fucking ball away. That's what they hang their hat on. If they don't take the ball away, they probably lose. You look at the games they won. They beat the Patriots, they take the ball away. They beat the Vikings, they take the ball away. So I've seen teams slide into the playoffs and take the ball away and do great in the tournament because they take the ball away. So they give up yards, they give up points, they do that. It's not as bad as
They have good players on defense. They got
I
T.J.
know.
Watt, they got
They got
Herbert,
studs
they got
everywhere.
it's new guys too.
they got Joey Porter, they got
It's new
Jalen
guys.
Ramsey.
It's new guys. So it's not going to happen overnight. They got the pieces. I feel like they got the scheme. Man, we'll get to Pittsburgh soon.
We will
We'll
soon.
get
Yeah,
to Pittsburgh
yeah.
soon.
Okay.
But I like what they got going. I ain't going to lie.
I agree. I like what they got going on offense. They're not putting Aaron Rodgers. They're not dropping it back 40 times a game.
Right.
They're keeping all the throws at or around the line of scrimmage, swinging Jalen Warren out. He's dynamic out of the backfield. But I agree with you, Coach. Pittsburgh Steelers, AFC North, and they don't have a downhill thumper. They're a little weak on the offensive line. They haven't been playing together. But for them to win, they got to keep games close. They're not going to score 35, 40 points. They're going to keep things close on offense, get takeaways on defense, and basically hang in games. You know, this is the AFC North. It's wide open right now, and I like their chances going forward.
All right. So if you look at Green Bay's upcoming,
Yeah.
in 2 weeks they got Philly on a Monday night at home. That'll be interesting.
big.
That'll be
Yeah.
a little
We'll find out,
measuring stick, won't it? And then they have to go to the Lions on Thanksgiving, as usual. That's like tradition. And then they have to go to your place, your Orange Crush place, right? They have to go to Denver.
Pretty
and
tough
they
schedule.
still have to go
Yeah.
at Bears and at Vikings, which will not be simple, trust me.
Right.
So the story hasn't been written yet, and I'm not going to overreact to what I saw last night against the Steelers. You like them, I don't. But I haven't liked them all year.
It's getting to that time of the year when Green Bay's advantage come into play. So people gonna have to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and play in that motherfucking stadium. That's their advantage. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna get better as the year goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like Green Bay. I just can't put them as the best team in the NFC. It's so fucking even in the NFC and AFC to me right now. So can't stamp nobody as the best.
Yeah.
Except probably the Broncos.
You know, they're a young team. They're a young team. They're evolving, man. They got speed. They've drafted really well. That's what the Packers have always done. And they went and got some studs in free agency that are working out for them. I played with Josh Jacobs. I played with Keyshawn Nixon. Those guys are some dogs. They added the right mentality. But
Yeah.
I want to see this team continue to grow, get some takeaways. But I'm really impressed by the speed they have. You watch them on offense. They got guys that can fly
Juice,
anywhere.
man.
Yeah.
And Matthew Golden hadn't really had an impact yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They're still getting him involved. Yeah.
They'll get him involved. So, yeah. Young, they got depth. They're talented. It's up to the quarterback's consistency. And Matt LaFleur is one of the better play callers in the league, I think.
Yes.
Hell yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree.
Well, they were young 2 years ago in a playoff game at Jerry World, and they were the 7 seed to our 2 seed, and it was 48 to something. You know,
You guys gave up over 40 points again?
can you believe it?
How many times you guys go?
Shocker.
And guess what? Micah Parsons played the whole game
And
that
what'd he do,
day
Skip?
and did zero. Zeros across the board.
That game haunts Skip.
Hey, Skip he gonna remind us that
You
he
should
he
change
gonna
your
let
name
us
to the
get that
Dallas
shit.
Desperados. Remember the Arena Football League
I
team
do.
they had? I think the Dallas Desperados gave up less points than the Cowboys.
Well, you're in the Arena Hall of Fame,
That's
right?
damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
Well,
I don't know where it is, but somewhere.
So the chat is riding with the Packers because 60% of the chat says that they are going to win the NFC. So for the Packers,
Wow.
we'll see how that goes. Let's look at the AFC North.